fellow humans. Do you know what you're truly capable of? We've split atoms. We've rocketed to the moon. We've mastered flight. And yet we still can't keep it together when our partner uses that tone. Or when our boss seems to be part of a conspiracy against us. Or when our smoothie spills in the car. Even with all of our amazing achievements, we've still not mastered one critical thing: our emotions. We still resent the person who embarrassed us in the meeting. We still fear the words, "We need to talk." We still lose composure when discussing politics. How many times has a single interaction changed your entire day? We believe we're in control of our lives, but are we? Or are we being controlled by something else? The truth is, our emotional state dictates the quality of our lives. And the solution is emotional sobriety. And what I mean by emotional sobriety is to finally be free from the emotions that intoxicate us. Imagine how much of your life is spent inside your head, playing imaginary arguments, worrying about who said what, interpreting others' actions, feeling overwhelmed, anxious, even hopeless. Most of us don't realize we're owned by our emotions. They rule our decisions and they shape our relationships. And they do this because what controls how you feel controls you. Think of it this way. Anything or anyone that can change the way you feel inside of you has now become the dictator of your life experience, the manipulator of your relationships, the driver of your parenting, the limiter of your productivity, and the destroyer of your health. This is why I believe emotional sobriety is the most important movement of our time. Now, emotional sobriety is not about suppressing emotions, pretending to be peaceful, or avoiding difficulty. It's a skill we develop by training our perspectives so deeply we begin to think and feel differently. Your triggers, your frustrations, your worries will soon vanish. Let me tell you about someone I once knew. A successful doctor, parent, business owner, believed that they were mature and balanced, completely unaware how their emotions ran them. They would catch glimpses, though, like noticing their hand shake after starting another argument with their partner, getting caught in another lie, snapping at anyone with feedback. You might be thinking this person sounds like they were quite a handful, and you're right, I was. And I was frustrated. I'd never be able to change what my emotions were making me do. And I flaunt my failures to you because if you felt burdened by your behaviors, it's okay. I've made mistakes too, huge ones. Trust me, I didn't tell you my entire list. But here's what I realized. We overcomplicate emotions. Emotions are simply chemicals made inside of us, and they can be harmful, intoxicating, even addictive. They can also be grounding, pleasurable, and connecting. Yet we have normalized making unhelpful emotions and thinking in unhelpful ways over and over again. We've become addicted to these emotions. And like any addict, we know how to find our next fix, even if we don't want to. We've built the habit and the allowance of emotional insobriety. And it's everywhere. I'd love some help from the audience. Raise your hand if you've ever lost control of yourself while under the influence of alcohol. And I'm going to raise mine because I left that off my list earlier. Great. Now, what about if you've ever lost control over yourself while under the influence of emotion? Right. Both chemicals, right? Look, you're not alone. For over a decade, I've worked with leaders, CEOs, military, first responders, couples, you name it, across the board. The one thing that held each of them back without them knowing was emotional insobriety. When we are intoxicated on emotion, we hurt others. We hurt ourselves. We make mistakes and we miss opportunities. We go into Hulk mode. And we're all the same in this way. Your parents, your exes, your siblings are all the same in this way. I used to think emotional intelligence was the answer, but it wasn't. Because it wasn't enough just to manage our emotions once they appeared. We needed to ask much more of ourselves. And I wondered, what if we could 10 times emotional intelligence and not just manage our emotions or the emotions of others, but with enough training, actually stop making those harmful emotions in the first place? Things like emotional intelligence, mindfulness, and stoicism were all valuable. But I noticed that the harmful emotions were still present. And I was aiming to solve the core problem of emotional addiction. We needed true sobriety to be free of the chemicals that intoxicate us. All of them. Humans, I've seen it. We are capable of incredible growth beyond your wildest dreams. So I encourage you to take one step toward emotional sobriety in your life. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Next time you're facing a challenge, feel free to start using this formula. Number 1, get over yourself. Get above yourself like a drone flying over your head and ask yourself, am I making this situation about me not being good enough? Not being important? Not being loved or respected? 2, get real. What are you really feeling and doing? What are you really feeling? Are you angry or are you really embarrassed? Are you sad? Are you really afraid? And what are you doing? Are you yelling, avoiding, lying? 3, check motive. What are you hoping to accomplish by doing this? Are you hoping to win, get attention, not get in trouble? This is just the beginning, and it's just a wake-up call. Your emotional state is truly in your hands. And when you control how you feel, you control you. Imagine being free from the chemicals that hijack you. Experience each other without argument or avoidance. Your job without fear or frustration. Build your legacy with clarity and confidence. I truly believe emotional sobriety is the next great human achievement. Greater than flight. Greater than splitting the atom. Because it will allow us to master something far more important, ourselves. Trust me, the next great leap for humanity isn't out there. It's in you.